We hear the number 1 trillion so often. A $1 trillion deficit, a $1 trillion company. We know it's huge, but the human brain simply isn't equipped to grasp a number that vast. So let's stop talking in abstract economic terms and make it intensely personal. Imagine a vault opens and $1 trillion is yours, with one outrageous simple rule. You have to spend it. No investments, no charitable foundations, just personal acquisition until the money is gone. Here is a journey of $1 trillion. Your first move is the luxury shopping spree of the century. You buy every ultimate toy you've ever fantasized about. You purchase the ultimate mansion, the most expensive home ever sold, for $500 million. You grab a top-of-the-line private jet, a Gulfstream G700 at $75 million. You acquire the infamous super yacht, the History Supreme, coated in gold for a rumored $4.8 billion. You've just spent more on personal luxuries than any person in history. You lean back, expecting to see a significant chunk missing, but when you check your balance, you have about $994.6 billion left. You haven't even registered a blip. Spending at the level of a single human, no matter how ridiculous, makes no discernible impact. You're trying to empty the Pacific Ocean with a very expensive thimble. Frustrated, you ditch the personal shopping and move into the realm of major assets, buying for the sheer sake of spending. You start thinking like a corporate raider. Real estate. You acquire the 10 most expensive skyscrapers in New York City. Total cost? A staggering $30 billion. A private navy. You buy 500 of the world's largest container ships at $200 million each. Total cost? $100 billion. Now we're talking. That's $130 billion out the door. You are an overnight real estate and shipping magnate unlike any the world has ever seen. You check your balance again. You have $870 billion remaining. This is the first true shock. You want a portfolio of tangible assets that rivals small nations, and yet you haven't even spent 15% of your money. The problem isn't the price, it's the velocity of acquisition. There are only so many skyscrapers and container ships for sale in the world at any given moment. You're already hitting the fundamental limits of the global market. You realize that you can no longer think like a billionaire. You have to start thinking like a superpower. You move into the domain of military budgets and national infrastructure. A military fleet. You buy 5 aircraft carriers, $65 billion, stock them with fighter jets, $30 billion, and throw in 20 nuclear submarines, $70 billion. Pause and absorb that. You have just created the 5th most powerful naval and air force on the planet from scratch in a single afternoon. It is the single largest purchase ever conceived. You, one person, has spent more than the annual GDP of a country like Hungary. You triumphantly check your balance. You have $705 billion remaining. The feeling of triumph fades into a strange, hollow incomprehension. You have committed an act of financial power that is truly unimaginable, and you are not even 1/3 of the way through your task. The money is winning. There isn't enough stuff. This is the point where the experiment completely disintegrates. You start looking for the most expensive, monumental things humanity has ever created or built. The entire art market. You decide to buy the top 100 most expensive paintings ever sold. Total cost? Roughly $15 billion. A pittance. Monumental engineering. You personally fund the construction of a land bridge from Alaska to Russia, a $200 billion infrastructure project that reshapes global geography. Space exploration. You decide to bankroll the entire original Apollo program to the moon and then fund it again just for good measure. Cost? $560 billion. After building an intercontinental bridge and funding humanity's return to the moon, you would still have money left over. You could buy every major professional sports team, every major airline, and every diamond mine on Earth, and you would likely still be sitting on hundreds of billions. The brutal, simple truth is there is not enough stuff for sale in the world for a single person to spend $1 trillion. The entire global annual spending on all luxury goods is only about 1.5 trillion. You, one person, would be trying to consume 2/3 of that in a single frenzied attempt. The markets would collapse and you would simply run out of available things to buy. So, how could you make the number disappear? The only way to make the money vanish in a meaningful time frame is to use it as an economic force rather than as a personal purchasing power. There are approximately 125 million households in the United States. If you gave every single one of them $8,000, your $1 trillion would be gone, instantly. It would be a monumental act of collective support, the one that would likely throw the economy into a historical frenzy. But that's the entire point of the thought experiment. $1 trillion is not meant to be personal wealth. It's a force of nature. The real takeaway isn't about the difficulty of spending. It's about scale. When our governments and central banks debate trillion-dollar stimulus packages or national budget deficits, they're wielding a power so colossal it defies human understanding. It's the power to start wars, reshape societies, explore the cosmos, or completely halt global inflation. The number 1 trillion isn't just a number. It's the currency of civilizations, and as a single human being, you couldn't spend it because it was never meant for you to carry. It's simply too heavy. If you find this information useful, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more in-depth content every week.